even know if it's moving. I don't know what I hate more, clips or cotter pins. That is not working at all. I don't like this. One thing you want to make sure is that you're actually loosening it rather than tightening it all over again. Welcome back to another Z1 install video, and today we're going to be installing a steering angle kit as well as offset steering rack spacers on a 350Z. So we have the kit right here, comes with everything that you need. We're going to be starting with the steering rack spacer, and then as we take everything apart, put everything back together, we're going to be moving on to the angle kit. So let's get started. Dude, save some for the rest of us, my God. Wow. So one thing you want to do first, obviously, get the car in the air. We've done that. You can do this with any standard jack stands, and we're going to be using a lift, of course. And make sure you put the car in park. Make sure you get the car out of gear, because, you know, safety first, right? So let's get our handy dandy pliers. First step is going to be removing this cotter pin. I'm removing a lot of these lately. These are so much fun. I love them. I don't even know if it's moving. I don't know what I hate more, clips or cotter pins.
Definitely cotter pins. Definitely cotter pins.
Ow! I got it. But after I stabbed myself in the chest, take out the cotter pin. So now that we've got the cotter pin removed, we're actually going to be loosening the jam nut. And since we are replacing the tie rod with the angle kit, we're going to be removing it as well. So in the install guide, if you're only using the stock, if you're reusing your stock tie rods, you're only loosening the jam nut, not fully removing it, but we're going to be fully removing it. So yeah, let's get this jam nut loosened. To loosen this jam nut, you need a 22mm open-ended. I think that worked. Yes, we're in. All right, we're going to loosen that. And then now we're going to remove is the castle nut from the top of the tie rod with our 19mm. Like that. You're gonna need some motivation, I think. We're gonna hit it with our purse, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I missed. That's not hitting it with your purse, is it? Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Good.
Not working, bud.
That is not working at all. Brother. Yes! Bingo. All right, and then now in order to get the outer tie rod out, you literally just unthread it from the inner tie rod. All right, there you go. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start removing this dust boot from the steering rack. There's one clamp and then on this side, and then towards the inside of the car, there's like a wiry, kind of twisty, I don't really know what you call it thing. And so I guess, so you're gonna remove this clamp and then you're gonna untwist the wire and then it should slide out. There we go. Like that. All right, now we got this fun little spring thing. I don't know what you want to call it off. You kind of just pull it and then there goes the boot. Just like that. Pops right off. Boot. To put boots on them. Now we're gonna work on sliding this boot fully off. It wants to cooperate, which of course in typical 350Z fashion, it does not. There we go. All right. Now we're in business. Just like that. Ah! Don't lose the clamp. You will need it. I think you will need it. Put that to the side. All right, so now what we're gonna do is remove the outer tie rod from the steering rack using two open-ended wrenches. One is a 21mm for the actual rack itself, and then this big 32mm for the outer tie rod. One thing to bear in mind is do not move the steering rack, because if you do, you'll have to do all of the measurements to make sure that you get it back to normal. So we're gonna take a stab at this, and hopefully we don't move the steering rack, because I don't want to do extra steps. I don't know if you do, but I sure as heck don't. So we're gonna give this a whirl. I don't like this. One thing you want to make sure is that you're actually loosening it rather than tightening it all over again. There we go. Minimal to no movement in the steering rack. Yay! We're up, dude. We're so up right now. When doing this, basically just put all of your energy on the 32 wrench because it will move on its own. You don't have to work against itself to get it to crack because there's a lot of grease and lube on it, so it'll move on its own. Holy crap. There we go. All right. So now the inner tie rod is out of the car. All right, so now what we're gonna do is begin installing our spacers. So obviously you're gonna get these beautiful billet aluminum spacers here. There's gonna be one for each side, one for the driver's side, one for the passenger side. The way you can tell the difference is if you're looking at them the same way, the driver's side is kind of angled up, I guess at your 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock, if you will. And so then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this 14mm Allen and some Loctite, and we're gonna thread it into the steering rack. So first things first, we are going to get some Loctite, put it on there. Get a little bit of Loctite on there. Actually, I think I did this too soon. So when you mount it to the steering rack, the hole for the tie rod is going to be pointed towards the subframe. And then as you can see, you have these little grooves here, which correspond with this dowel. I don't know what you want to call it. And then it's going to fit in there. It's going to line right up. And then you're going to take your 14mm Allen bolt, and then you're going to, it's a little bit of a fiddle, and you're going to thread it just like that. And then now we need our, there'll be a little grime, dirt probably when you mount this. So we're going to get that bolt and we're going to tighten that down. All right, so it says use a 14mm Allen hex socket while holding the steering rack flats with another 21mm wrench, it's over there. Torque the socket head bolt to 59 to 72 foot-pounds. We have a wide range to choose from. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do 69 foot-pounds because nice. Because then you have to make some measurements. And we're just gonna start by running that guy in there like this. Being careful, taking our time. There we go. Yes, sirree. All right. So now that that's snug, we're gonna get our torque wrench. We're gonna torque it to 69 foot-pounds because why not? All right, so we got our torque wrench set to 69 foot-pounds. We're gonna get our wrench back on there, and then we're just gonna, just like that. Perfect. All right, cool. So the steering rack spacer is on, and now we're gonna work on getting that inner tie rod back onto the car. All right, and then to secure the rack spacer, what we're gonna do is install these little baby screws. Careful not to lose them. There is an Allen in the middle so that you can tighten it. I think this is a 1.5 mil that I picked up from our Allen tool set, and you're just gonna run these little baby screws in there, just like that. All the way in there. The tie rod back into the spacer. You're gonna get these little washer things here, and the way you can tell which one to put on is by the direction of the tab. So because we're doing the driver's side, it's gonna be pointed again towards the subframe with the direction of the rack spacer. Oh, thank you. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna hold that there, and then you're just gonna start by threading that in there. Probably will help if you have your 32mm wrench. Why, I don't know. There it goes, that's cool. Sweet. All right. So now we're gonna get started on tightening down the inner tie rod. One thing that's cool with the rack spacer now, that to keep the rack from moving, you can actually use a set of channel locks or pliers just to hold down the actual spacer itself as you tighten this down so that it doesn't move. And we're just gonna keep tightening it down. And then similar to the 14mm Allen, it'll be 59 to 72 foot-pounds is what you torque this to. All right, so now we're going to slide the boot back over to the steering rack. One thing too is the spacer that you have in here, it does protrude a little bit out and make it very difficult to get the boot back on. So I just hit it with a hammer just to bend it back a little bit. But use a bit of silicone spray, maybe where did my handy dandy pick tool go? It's on the table. All right, so we got the boot back on, took a little bit of finesse and a lot of silicone spray. One secret that the great techs here told me is that you want to actually stretch it out to get it over the spacer, whereas if you scrunch it up, it's actually going to bind and it's not going to work. So really just a lot of finesse, a lot of finagling, and eventually get it on there as I struggle with this hose clamp. Alrighty, so now that we have the steering rack spacer installed on the car, because we are not using the stock tie rod, we are going to be using the angle kit. This is when we would install the angle kit. So since we're using the driver's side, we're going to take the left side relocation bracket, and basically it only fits one way. It's a bit of a, and then what you're gonna do is, it's gonna go up this way, like this, and then you're going to take the kind of conical looking hex bolt screw, or conical looking hex bolt, and it's going to go over top. Since we are not using the stock compression rods, we have the, as part of the steering angle kit, we are using the Z1 compression rods. So this is gonna go in place of that. So the conical bolt goes from the top, and then what we're gonna do is, we're not gonna fully tighten everything down yet, just until everything is installed. That's gonna go up. So we're just gonna thread that guy in just like that, leave it loose. It's gonna hang, it's fine, it's no big deal. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to take these hex bolts that look just like this. They are a 14 millimeter, handy dandy 14 millimeter hex bolt. And then what we're gonna do is this is gonna go underneath like this. So it's gonna go underneath, it sits flush just like that for maximum clearance. And then this bolt is gonna go over top just like that. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna tighten these down, get them nice and snug. Do not fully tighten them yet because there will be adjustments as we put on the rest of the angle kit. But yeah, so let's get those snug and then we'll go from there. All right, so we're tightening down the bolts. I lied, it is a 12 millimeter Allen and a 19 millimeter bolt. So it's gonna tighten them down so it's nice and snug, and then, but don't fully tighten them yet just because of the adjustability that you're gonna be doing once you get the rest of the tie rod onto the car. Alrighty, so what we're gonna do is reinstall the rest of the tie rod. We're gonna reinstall the factory jam nut back onto the factory tie rod. Just gonna thread that guy all the way in. And then next we have the tie rod extension. And one thing to bear in mind is with the kit, you get a long and a short tie rod extension. If you're using the rack spacers like we are, you're going to use the short extension. So then what you're going to do is you're just going to thread the extension onto the factory inner tie rod. And just for ease of installation, we're just gonna thread it all the way. All the adjustability will be done afterwards. So we're just gonna do that for now. And then you're going to take the outer tie rod and you're gonna thread that into the extension as well with the jam nut threaded on as well. So we're just gonna thread that guy on there as well. It is a reverse thread, so be mindful of that too. All right, so once this is threaded on, let's get our bolts and let's bolt it onto the relocation bracket. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to install the tie rod bolt into the Ackerman slot, which is this kind of oval shaped slot, if you will. And there's kind of two settings that you could have. You could have the outboard Ackerman setting, which means that the bolt is facing outside of the car, or you have the inboard setting, which is facing the inside of the car. Kind of what the idea is it gives you better, once you're at full lock, you have more, the wheels are flatter on the ground, where it gives you a better feel for angle, right? We're asking, all right? You get more contact patch. So you get more contact patch, but you do lose a little bit of angle. Whereas if you have it inboard, you have less contact patch, more angle. And you know, going around surveying all of our tame racing drivers in the shop, they prefer to have the Ackerman setting set to outboard. So that's what we're gonna do. But it's very easy to adjust. We can get to that later. So what we're gonna do is we are going to take our tie rod bolt, we're gonna put it into the slot, just like that. It should fall right in. and then we're going to take the rest of our tie rod. So now, because of the way that I threaded it in, you know, it's a bit short, so we're just gonna, just for the sake of the install video, we're going to move it all the way out as well. So we're gonna, this is all of course going to be fully adjustable later once you get the alignment, but we're just going to do this. We were able to get the tie rod end through the tie rod bolt. A couple things that we had missed that was brought to our attention from the techs is actually, so there is I guess there's a spacer and a washer that goes on before you actually bolt in the tie rod. So I'll show you over here. It looks just like this. As you put the tie rod bolt into the Ackerman slot, you have these two little kind of washers. So this one is actually what goes into the Ackerman slot, and then once you put the tie rod end, you have this washer here. So they kind of sandwich each other just like this, and obviously the end corresponds with the Ackerman setting that you're going with. So obviously we went outer or outboard, so it's into the Ackerman slot like this. And then you make sure, one thing to bear in mind is before you torque your tie rod bolt down, you want to make sure that it is perpendicular with the car or with the bolt itself, but obviously we can't do that with the car in the air. You have to make sure that you do it on the ground once the suspension has settled. So when we take the car for alignment, that's when we're going to torque that down. However, I do believe that we can torque these down. So we will check the install guide. It says 56 to 69 foot-pounds. Nice. So obviously we're going to do 69 foot-pounds. So we have a torque wrench set to 69 foot-pounds. Just going to get that in there. Hold it back. Just be careful. There we go. Perfect. Just like that. All right. We're going to wait to torque down the tie rod bolt, but all you got to do is repeat that for the other side. So let's get to it. All right. So now that we have the other side bolted in as well, actually one thing that was brought to our attention really quick was we actually put the conical spacer for the tie rod in upside down. So we were able to fix that really quick. As you can see, it goes in this orientation, not the way that we had it before. So before you yell at me in the comments, it's been fixed. Now that everything is installed on both sides of the car, all we have left to do is get the car aligned. But that's how easy it is to install a steering rack spacer and a steering angle kit on a 350Z. We hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment on which how-to videos you want us to do next.